Hello, my name's Paul Ireland and I'm from Abstract Worlds Ltd, and today it's August 2019 and I'm going to take you through a game that my company developed back in 2002, so 17 years ago. It's a Java mobile phone game called StrangeMaze 3D, and I'll take you through the game and some of the phones that we developed on. Back in those days, there weren't any smartphones like iPhones or Android phones. It was very much different manufacturers having their own operating systems, and in most cases they might ship with, some phones might ship with a game, but you didn't usually have the download capability until Java phones were introduced, and they were introduced around 2002. And we got quite a range of different phones that you could actually download Java apps onto the phone to play games. And just to give you an idea, I've got a selection here, so I'll have a look at these. From various different manufacturers, from Nokia, Siemens, Motorola, Sharp, Samsung, Sony Ericsson, all very much different shapes and sizes, all very low spec compared to what you've got today. Different screen sizes as well. But the important thing with all these phones is that they had this Java download capability, so you could download Java apps. And what I'll take you through is this particular phone, which is it's kind of like a Nokia mass market phone, but it was one of the first that was a colour one as well, that had the Java download capability for Nokia anyway. I mean, really the basic Nokia one was this one, which was like a mono phone, and this phone was really the colour equivalent of that phone. So I'll take you through the game. The game's called StrangeMaze, and the idea is that you've got a maze and you've got to beat two different robots. I'll show you what the robots look like. Those are the robots. They're trying to get to the maze exit, and you've got to try and beat them. I didn't move that time, so obviously I lost. But you can move around like this. See, they're already there. So I lost that one. So I'll have another go. And it looks like I've got to go forward, turn right, and then turn left. And you can actually see the exit from here anyway. So let's see if I can get that. Yep, got that one. And when the game starts, you start off with a very small maze, and then the maze gets bigger and bigger as you go up the levels. So let's see, turn around here. And at any point you can stop the game and see where everyone is and where you are on the map. See it again. Hopefully there should be a robot coming in sight on the right there. Yeah, let's see if I can beat him to it. Yeah, got it. Maze is getting slightly bigger. I'm quite fortunate with these. These ones are quite easy. The mazes are randomly generated using a maze generation algorithm that's built into the application. Right, mazes are getting bigger again. Okay, so as you go through the levels, you've got different colours for the walls, You've got a background as well, which is a fractal generated background, and because all of these are procedurally generated, it gives you a replayability level that means that it's a different maze, different colours, different background each time you're playing. And one of the things I'm particularly proud about this game is that it all fits into 32K. So that's a 32K file, and if you think nowadays 32K is nothing, I mean, if you took a picture with one of the lowest megapixel cameras, if you take a 640 by 480 pixel photograph, save that as a JPEG file, that is about 60K. So that's almost twice the size of this game. And within this game, we've got a 3D engine, which that was actually a raycasting engine. We've got a maze generation algorithm for randomly generating mazes. We've got AI built into the app for the robots to find their way out. We've got fractal generated landscapes, quite a bit of random stuff going on there, and it's all within 32K. And this was a 32K Java, what they call them midlets, but you can call them applets or apps. And this was a standard Java app that was the same app for all of these different phones, and it worked out how to resize itself for the different screen resolutions, because obviously this was one of the smallest screen resolutions with about 96 by 56 pixels, but some of these other phones were larger displays. But what we tried to do was aim for a game that was 3D, it was immersive, and it worked on the mass market phone, so you didn't have to be the richest guy on the street to actually play this game. I mean, some people, they had the high-end phones like this Nokia, and some game developers just developed for these phones, but I was particularly proud that we developed for all of these phones. Right, so let's have another look at this game. Where are we? Okay. See if I can remember where I am. Yep, on the exit, yeah. See, this is where it gets a bit more difficult. But I'll leave it there. Quit from there. It remembered whereabouts you got on the game level as well. So whenever you start up the game again, it allowed you to start at whichever level you'd got to. So I could start again at level 9. And hopefully you'll see that this level 9 is a different maze now from the previous level 9, just to show off the random maze generation. Quit from there. Some of the settings. Cruise control, that means that if you press forward, it carries on going forward. Game mode, can't even remember what that one does. Oh, that I think that allows you to race against the robots, or if you just want to practice, it switches the robots off. Graphics, this allowed you to go up and down in the quality of graphics depending on the phone. I mean, some of these phones were very low spec, very low powered processors. I'm trying to think what might have been the slowest. Possibly this Siemens. This was a very slow processor, and what you had to do was you really had to move the graphics down a bit to get it working on some of those phones. Obviously, the low processor phones had their advantages. It meant that some of these phones, they could last for days without getting recharged. Go back there. And that's about it on the menu game. What we did was we translated this game into different languages as well, and got it shipped out to Italy, South America, China, North America as well, New Zealand, and really for one single game, we did manage to get it going out around the world. Unfortunately, with all of these Java phones, they were very short-lived. They had a 2 or 3 year lifespan before then the Apple iPhone was introduced, and everyone moved away from Java phones onto iPhones and then Android phones. But it was good while it lasted. The obviously being able to develop for a very low spec machine. Let's do a new game again. What you also had to realise was that we were developing to this MIDP1 spec, which was like a subset of Java, and it really limited you on what you could do, but it meant that it could work on these low spec machines. So there was no sound on these games, not for MIDP1 anyway, and even to the extent that we were having to develop a 3D raycasting engine and not being able to use floating point arithmetic. So it was all sort of integer arithmetic, and if you think, well, have I got to use trig and I've got to use pi, how am I going to do that using integers? There are ways around it, and we found those ways. But all in all, a 3D first person maze racing game that fit into 32K, and this was the game called StrangeMaze 3D. So thanks for looking at this video. Thank you.